So anyways, today we are going to be doing a recap of the first Lord of the Rings movie. And it's just kind of like background noise, I guess, if you're doing something. Or maybe you're a diehard Lord of the Rings fan and you want to listen to me recap the entire plot of the first movie. I don't know. And I say movie instead of book because although I have the book on my trusty dusty bookshelf here, I have not finished the whole thing because I have the attention span of like something with a short attention span. I don't know. Anyways, so today, before we get started, we're gonna light this candle. Let's see. What scent is it? It is pomegranate, rain, and mango. And it's a custom candle from Ohio. And it's pretty epic. So I'm gonna go ahead and light that bad boy off screen because I've only got one hand, and I would accidentally light something on fire if I wasn't careful. All right, there we go. We've got some nice mood lighting going on. It smells fantastic. Anyways, so we're gonna start. The first book is Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring. Obviously, gosh, how could you not know that? Anyways, so we're gonna talk about our characters first. We've got Bilbo, right? Bilbo Baggins and his nephew, Frodo. So Bilbo, Frodo, they're both Bagginses, okay? They live in the Shire. They live in Hobbiton, Baggend, okay? That's where our story begins. So, technically, our story begins a lot earlier with Bilbo, and he goes on this whole long journey. I'll do another video about that, but he goes on this whole long journey, right? Because this wizard named Gandalf the Grey, he's a wizard in Middle Earth, and he shows up to Bilbo's house, and he's like, "Hey Bilbo, can you help me with something?" And Bilbo's like, "No." Anyways, long story short, Bilbo does go help him with something, and they retrieve. Well, long story short, Bilbo gets the One Ring from Gollum, who's living in a cave in the Misty Mountains, okay? Oh gosh, I hope it's the Misty Mountains. If someone is like a diehard Lord of the Rings fan, and they listen to me absolutely, like, destroy the Lord of the Rings lore, I'm actually gonna get flamed in the comments. Anyways, so Bilbo gets the One Ring. That's all we need to know, okay? He goes back home to the Shire after everything's over, and Gandalf is like, "Alright, cool. He found a ring, so keep it safe, I guess." And he does. He keeps it, and it stays there. And then we're fast forwarding, okay, a long time in the future. Bilbo shows up. Gandalf shows up, and Gandalf, it's for Bilbo's 111th birthday, okay? And this is a big deal. Like, why is this dude so old? Of course, hobbits live to be a little older, but like, this dude is getting pretty old, okay? And he's got the One Ring, and it's making him like super tired all the time, and he's feeling heavy. He feels like too little butter spread over a slice of toast, okay? I think that's how he describes it. It's kind of how I feel like right now. Anyways, so that happens, and it's his birthday, and at his birthday party, his nephew Frodo is there too, and he's like, "Alright guys, peace out." Crazy magic trick. He puts the ring on. Poof. Bilbo gone. Where'd he go? No one knows. And then he heads back to his little house. Everyone's freaking out, and Gandalf meets him there, and he's like, "Frodo's gonna be upset that you're gone." And he's like, "Well, I need to go. I'm gonna leave everything to Frodo. I'm gonna die soon. I know it. I need to leave. I want to go see mountains again." So he leaves, and Gandalf's like, "Are you gonna leave the ring for Frodo too, or are you gonna take that?" And he's like, "Oh, it's on a thing in the mantle." And then he checks his pocket, and it's in his pocket. And then he's like, "Oh shoot, I probably need to leave this here," but he doesn't want to because the ring is magical, obviously. Anyways, and it wants to stay with Bilbo, but then Bilbo winds up leaving it, which is really hard for him. And Frodo comes back, and Bilbo's gone, and Frodo's all sad. And Gandalf's like, just keep it hidden, keep it secret, keep it safe, right? quotes from the movie that you're not gonna catch unless you've actually seen the movie. Anyways, so time passes, right? Nothing bad happens. Gandalf rides off on, oh my gosh, what's the fast horse's name? It's not Fairfax. Something like that. Rides off on a really fast horse, right? Shadowfax. Show them the meaning of haste, Shadowfax. Anyways, so, gosh, people in my life know about this channel, and if they see, I doubt they watch the videos, but anyways, so he rides Shadowfax to the White City of Minas Tirith in Gondor, right? And he does a bunch of research, and he's like, oh, damn, remember that ring we found? That ring might actually be the One Ring. How do we find out if it's the One Ring? So he rides all the way back to the Shire, and he finds Bilbo. Not Bilbo, Bilbo's gone. He finds Frodo, and he's like, Frodo, give me the ring right now. And dark things are stirring, right? So Frodo gives him the ring, and he takes the ring, and he throws it in the fire, and Bilbo's like, not Bilbo. I just keep saying Bilbo. Bilbo's gone. If I say Bilbo, I'm wrong. Frodo's like, dude, you just threw my ring into the fire. What are you doing? And then he's like, oh, grab it. It's quite cool. So he takes it, and it's got the inscription on it, right? And it like lights up in the fire, and it's one ring to rule them all, one ring to find them, one ring to bring them all, and in the darkness bind them, right? And he's like, oh shit, this is the One Ring. What do we do about this, right? So Gandalf is like, well, I don't really know what to do now. Like, this is bad. They're gonna come looking for you, obviously, because you've got the One Ring. And then he hears something outside. He's like, oh shoot, it's the Dark Agents of Mordor. Mordor's the bad guy. Sauron forged the Rings of Power, right? Okay. And basically, Sauron was defeated. But then he came back, and like, danger is stirring in Mordor. And he's gonna send his agents of darkness, the Ring Wraiths, and the Nazgul, to go get it. Okay? So he hears something outside the window. He's like, oh shoot, this is a bad guy. This is not good. And he goes and checks it. Guess what? It's not a bad guy. It's everyone's favorite local farmer, Samwise Gamgee. And Gandalf's like, have you been eavesdropping? And he's like, I haven't been dropping no eaves, sir. Honest. And Gandalf's like, okay, so this dude is just hanging out. And Gandalf sends Sam to go with Frodo to take the ring to Rivendell. This is a lot of words. Okay, Rivendell is the home of the elves. And Samwise is like, yeah, I love elves. This is a much bigger plot point in the book, but he loves elves anyways. So they head off to take the ring to Rivendell, because that's where Elrond lives, and Elrond's like super smart, and the elves are like super smart. So they start taking the ring to Rivendell, right? And at the same time, the Ring Wraiths, which are actually kind of the coolest characters in Lord of the Rings, they're these basically, when the rings were formed, some of the rings were given to the kings of men, and it corrupted their souls, and then now they live their entire lives in search of the One Ring. Like, that's all they do. They're between living and dead, and they've come to the Shire. Mordor has found Gollum, and they've taken Gollum and tortured him, and he's been like, oh yeah, the ring is in the Shire. So now Sauron has sent the Ring Wraiths to go find the ring in the Shire from Frodo. So Frodo's running through the woods and everything. He's like, oh crap, this is bad. Well, technically he's just been walking out for a while, and then he bumps into Pippin, and this is so embarrassing. Pippin, and full of a took. This is so bad. Okay, Pippin. Me when I'm a Pop Fozzie fan. Pippin anyways, Pippin and Friend. So they're just wandering through the woods, right? They run into Pippin. And Friend, this is so bad. I know the actress. Okay, anyways, once I get past this, I can't get past this. You full of a took, Peregrine took, and anyways, that's so embarrassing. They're wandering. They start getting chased by the Nazgul. They escape and they get to this little town, right? And they're at the Prancing Pony Inn, and there's this guy in the corner, but they were supposed to meet Gandalf there, and Gandalf isn't there, so they're like, oh crap, something's called Gandalf away, that's bad. Oh, I can't get over the Pippin thing. Peregrine took Pippin. Anyways, so Gandalf isn't there. They're like, oh crap, this is bad, something bad's pulled Gandalf away. And there's this guy just sitting in the corner, and they're like, yeah, that dude, they call him Strider, he's a ranger. So they give him kind of this weird look, and then something happens. Frodo slips, the ring falls onto his finger, and he goes invisible, and everyone's like, oh crap, this guy's invisible. And since the ring is being used, it like pings all the the ring wraiths nearby. So now they're all like on their way to get Frodo, which is bad. And Strider sees this and he's like, oh crap. So they go back to their room, but then Strider follows them and breaks in. They're like, are you a bad guy? And he's like, no, this is Aragorn. Aragorn is awesome. We love Aragorn. So Aragorn and them team up, and the Nazgul go and attack them. Not the Nazgul. The Nazgul are like these big dragon things that don't show up until a lot later. But the ringwraiths go and attack, and they don't get them. And Aragorn's like, all right, I will help you on your way to Rivendell. And they start marching off to Rivendell. March. They've just met Aragorn, and they're just kind of chatting it up. And their next stop is at this big like watch out tower, right? And they stop there, and while they're there, accidentally like Pippin and Friend. I'm never gonna be able to forgive myself for this. I'll put it in the caption because I'm sure I'm gonna look it up immediately after this is over. But Pippin and Friend they start a fire to make more food because they're hungry, because they're hobbits and they eat a lot of food. And Aragorn is off kind of scouting around, and they're like, oh, this is bad, like it's a fire at night, everyone's gonna see us. And they were right, everyone did see them. So the ringwraiths start like coming to get them, and they're at the top of the hill, and it's this pretty epic scene. And then Aragorn shows up and like fights him off with fire, but oh no, Frodo gets stabbed in the shoulder with a Morgul blade, which is bad. So basically, a Morgul blade will turn you into like a ring wraith. It's a big deal. It's not cool. One hasn't been seen in forever. So they get rid of the ring wraiths, but now they have the issue of, oh no, Frodo's dying. So they start trying to take him away, but guess who shows up? Guess who shows up? Arwen. Arwen is amazing and fantastic, and I love Arwen. Now, even though technically I don't think any of the Lord of the Rings movies passed the Bechdel test, Arwen is a girl boss, and I do love her. So Arwen is Aragorn's lover, and she's an elf. Aragorn is a man, pretty much, but he's a cool man, you know, like, he's descendant from an old race of men or anything. Okay, so he's descendant of the guy who chopped off Sauron's finger and took the ring. Alright, so that's the lineage we're looking at here. Anyways, a lot of things are going on in my head right now, especially because I can't remember Pippin's buddy's name. Pippin. Anyways, so Arwen takes Frodo, puts him on her horse, and they ride super fast for Rivendell. And what ensues is actually the most incredible basically, Arwen is chased by all 9 of the ring wraiths on horse while she is riding with Frodo to get him to Rivendell, and then she like uses elf magic or whatever and floods the river, and the ring wraiths get washed away, but they don't die because it's not that easy. And then Frodo gets taken to Rivendell, and then Elrond uses his super awesome elf magic to save, and then you get this super dumb shot of him like fading in and out, and he uses his super cool elf magic to save Frodo. So Frodo lives, and guess who is at Rivendell? Bilbo. Crazy. And Bilbo gives him this super cool like chainmail thing that'll help protect him. And now we've got the Council of Elrond. So Frodo has completed his mission that he was given from Gandalf, which is to get the ring to Rivendell, right? Gandalf's there too. Now they've got to figure out who is going to take the ring to Mordor and throw it into the fires of Doom, into the fires of Mount Doom. Mount Doom is where the ring was forged, and it can only be destroyed, in the fires that it was forged in. So you've got all sorts of people there. You've got Elrond, you've got Legolas, you've got Gimli, who's a dwarf, you've got other dwarves who are there, you've got, gosh, there are a lot of people there, is what I'm trying to say. Aragorn's there too, like everyone else is caught up, and they're like, oh shoot, what are we gonna do about this ring? And then they fight a little bit, and then Frodo stands and I'm just like, hey, I might be short, but I can take this ring to Rivendell, I can take this ring to Mordor, and they're like, you're short. But then Gandalf is like, yeah, he can do it. Let the little guy take the ring to Rivendell, or that's the second time I've done that. Let the little guy take the ring to Mordor, okay? So they do, and they form this fellowship. So it's Merry. It's Merry and Pippin. It's Merry and Pippin. Meriadoc and Peregrine. Merry and Pippin. Okay, so sorry, that was so not ASMR of me. So it's Aragorn, Legolas, Gimli, Frodo, Pippin, Merry, Sam, and Gandalf. That's like, Gandalf is there and he's not there. He leaves and he comes back because he's a wizard. But that is the Fellowship of the Ring, okay? And now they're gonna head off towards, well, and Boromir. I completely forgot about Boromir. Boromir is the favorite son of the Steward of Gondor. So remember that city, Minas Tirith, that Gandalf rode the horse to earlier to get the information? Minas Tirith is like the capital of Gondor, okay? And Gondor, they don't have a king right now, so they have a steward, and the steward of Gondor, Denethor, has 2 sons, Boromir and Faramir. Boromir is the favorite, don't forget that. He's played by Sean Bean. So Boromir's there too, and he goes with them. I just forget about Boromir because he dies really early on. If you didn't want spoilers, you shouldn't be watching a Plot of Lord of the Rings video. Anyways, to continue. This is like the least ASMR friendly ASMR video. So they start heading towards Mount Doom, right? And at the same time, the bad guys, the orcs, are going out and like causing problems. The orcs are like the bad guy foot soldiers, okay? And Gandalf goes over to oh my gosh, what is it called? Isengard, yeah. So he goes over to Isengard, which is like the headquarters of the wizards, to go meet up with Saruman. The bad guy's name is Sauron. This guy is Saruman. He's also a bad guy. Anyways, so Saruman is supposed to be a good guy. Gandalf gets there, and Saruman's like, let's work with Sauron. And Gandalf is like, no, that goes against like everything we stand for. And then Gandalf is like, no, that's a bad idea. And then Saruman locks him inside of their big tower and starts raising an army and stuff, the orcs, and sends the orcs after Frodo in the Fellowship. So they're going, and then I don't think I'm skipping anything. I don't think. he's kind of going crazy for it a little bit. And then they get ambushed by a bunch of orcs, right? And they fight, and then Boromir gets shot with an arrow after trying to steal the ring from Frodo earlier. And he's like, oh shoot, I'm sorry, but then he dies. So he gets introduced in the first movie, and he dies in the first movie. And then Frodo is like, oh shoot, I guess I gotta take this by myself, because obviously this is corrupting everyone and this is bad. So he tries to go off by himself, but Sam is like, no, and he's rowing this boat across the lake, and Sam jumps in the water to follow him, and Frodo's like, but dude, you can't swim. And Sam's like, I made a promise, I'm not gonna leave you. Watching that scene always makes me cry. Anyways, he's like, I promised Gandalf I'm not gonna leave you. So, thinking about it makes me sad. Anyway, so then Frodo and Sam wind up going together off to Mordor, and Pippin and Merry wind up getting kidnapped by the orcs, and then Legolas, Gimli, Aragorn go after Pippin and Merry, okay? And that's the entire plot of the first Lord of the Rings movie, with Merry missing half the time because I forgot his name. So I'll do the Two Towers next, because that's my favorite of the three, because I love horses,